I think it's List. They do Lyst. They do their like kind of power rankings for how often
Yeah.
brands are being searched for and stuff. And Prada has like skyrocketed up that list. On another note, Balenciaga has tumbled like 10 places or something like that. We can touch on that if we want to, but I do want to talk about the rise of Prada in the modern era. Do you have anything come to
I have
mind
a
here? Anything you'd
I have a
attribute it
million
to?
things. Yes.
Hit me.
I mean, the first thing I want to say is every Raf has their day. So I
Yes.
mean, so Raf Simons, he's like a designer that I assume nobody who watches either of our channels know about. So I'll give you a brief rundown.
Yeah.
He's this Belgian dude. And he's kind of like, I don't know, he's weird. He was at Dior. You probably never heard of it. He was at Jill Sander. Never heard of it.
Mhm.
TLDR about him is it seems like Raf has always been the critically acclaimed designer
Mhm.
who has kind of struggled commercially. And I say that because, like, at Calvin Klein, he was the creative director of Calvin Klein. For one brief shining moment, people cared
Hey,
about New York Fashion
don't
Week.
sell him short. Don't sell it. You're the name. It's Calvin Klein, 205 West, 39 NYC.
Yes, that's
No
the
wonder
full.
that failed.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
only a Belgian European guy would think that's the market. But he was at Calvin Klein as a creative director there, and everyone in New York is like, yes, finally. And he like got the boot after only a couple of shows. And the gist of it was that essentially the shareholders, whoever the big boss guys at Calvin
Mhm.
Klein, were upset that he wasn't selling more. His shows were expensive and they weren't making more money, and so he got kicked. He got kicked to the curb there.
Yeah.
And the other recent news was the Raf Simons private or like namesake label has shuttered. So that label is
Yeah.
Dunzo.
Which was incredibly surprising. Like, I don't know about you. I did not see that coming.
I mean, I am kind of surprised by it, but
Yeah.
it goes to show what lengths people will go to inflate the archive market. They said, you know what? Just stop making Raf Simons
Stop
clothing,
making.
and
You
then
know what? As soon as that happened, I saw an interview. I believe it was ASAP Rocky. It was like
oh,
within
I'm
a
sure.
week of the brand announcing that they're closing, and they were asking him like how he felt about it. And he's like, "Yeah, it's too bad. I've already started archiving all of it because it's going to be worth crazy amounts in the future." Like
Yes.
immediately, he was like, "That we're putting that away. We're saving
Yeah.
it to send it off to Justin Reed in a few years." You know what I mean?
Yeah. It is hilarious to think that like Raf Simons brand shutters, and then like a million reporters show up at ASAP Rocky's house, and they're like, Mr. Rocky, we need your take on this.
We
You are
need to
the
know.
authority. As you once said, Raf Simons, Rick Owens. Usually what I'm dressed in. Okay, let's try to get back on track.
Yes,
So
yes,
Raf Simons,
yeah.
he's just always crying. He's always so sad because he does all this cool esoteric designs that
Mhm.
people only care about in retrospect. And
Pretty much, yeah.
it seems like he's finally having his day as the
Mhm.
co-creative director of Prada with Mucha Prada.
And
The
I would say very clearly being groomed to be the sole proprietor of Prada. They're
Yeah,
making moves, they're changing their leadership structures, they're putting like their kids in, I think in like ownership structures. It seems like they are on their way out, the Pradas, right? That
yeah,
generation. And it seems like it's being set up for Raf to just fully take it on and move it forward.
100%. And you know, real ones will know that Mucha and Raf have had a relationship for a
Mhm.
few years. Like when I think Jill Sander is owned by the like same company
Prada
that owns
group.
Prada.
Yeah.
So like that's when they first like met, and he's like, "Hi, my name's Raf Simons," and she's like, "Hi, my name's Mucha Prada," and he's like,
Mhm.
"Wait a second, Mucha Prada? I know that." And then
What?
he's like, "What?" They had so much to talk about
It was such a
immediately.
nice meet cute, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it was a meet
Yeah,
cute,
yeah.
exactly. Um, and long story short, it makes sense that like they decided to bring him on as like a co-creative director,
Mhm.
And I'm saying, I'm happy that Raf is finally having his day where it's the hot brand, like sales wise.
Yeah,
He deserves it. He deserves it for once.
I think
Put up on the screen a picture of Raf crying at that Dior show, crying
and
tears of joy.
weirdly, I think he's made it more commercial in
Yeah,
his time being there. Like there's something that has always felt somewhat anti-commercial to me about Miuccia Prado's work. Like it's always it looks great, and again in retrospect, often it's like the archival stuff. You're like, whoa, she was doing that then. That's wild. But
yeah,
it always seems like she was kind of unconcerned about how much people would like it or how well it would sell. I don't know how true that is. It's just like kind of a vibe I've always gotten. But it seems like ever since Raf got there, it's been just very hot. It's been felt like very of the
yeah.
moment. That collection with the like Jeff Goldblum and what's his name from Twin Peaks and all that stuff, like that was an Instagram worthy collection, you know?
Straight up, straight up. Yeah, I mean, I guess it takes like an entire lifetime in fashion, running the biggest brands in fashion, to finally say, now I know. This is my Raf voice. Now I
Please
know what to do. I would love to hear the comments down below about how good I
never do
did.
that again. We're getting
I'll be doing a
banned.
lot of voices. We're getting banned anyway. We're gonna be on
Yeah.
The next episode is on
Yeah.
Truth Social.
Cross streamed Truth Social and Rumble and the Daily Wire if you subscribe to their
and
service.
whatever the Alex Jones show is called.
Oh, InfoWars, yeah.
InfoWars, yes. We're gonna
Right
have
wing muscle milk. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm gonna be even redder than I am for that episode. I'm gonna like,
You do kind of look like a frog of a certain persuasion.
oh,
You feel me?
guys, gay frog alert.
Oh,
Gay frog and proud though, guys. But I agree. I think that ultimately Raf is hitting something of a stride. I think that something that I have heard from people, like when I bless people and I take them to Dover Street Market and I'm like, come with me, I'll show you what's good.
yeah.
And we go into Dover Street Market. I had heard people kind of saying of Raf's recent designs that they weren't hitting for them. They were hitting different.
Sure.
But I think that ultimately, and I made a video about this, so I guess so I'm kind of repeating myself. I think that Raf has been exploring a lot of like putting more femininity in more like bizarrely kind of avant-garde shapes into his designs.
Yeah.
But like the stuff for men's at Prada, I think there has been more femininity. I think that has been kind of a core component that he's been playing with. And I'm surprised that there hasn't been, because as much as I do agree with you, the stuff that he's doing that is like on trend or like of the moment, I think Raf has been, to somebody's detriment, he's been more experimental in what he's been doing as of late. And I think that Raf is kind of victim to make designs that aren't appreciated in their time.